Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. I hope you all have an amazing day today. And thank you once again for joining me for another tingly session. Okay. So you want to imagine a dream that I had. Okay. I had this dream like last week where I had a trip to New York City where things kinda happened. So stuff kinda happened. So in your perspective, I will now imagine yourself having this dream, okay? In your perspective, okay? And you will experience my dream where you go to a city like New York City, okay? So let's begin, alright? I'm gonna make you some tingles while you imagine yourself, alright? So your dream starts, okay? Your dream starts, okay? You are you, and you happen to decide to go on a road trip to New York City. So you happen to live a couple hours away from New York City, a famous city, a well-known landmark in America, okay? So let's imagine you go to that city. It's some 4 to 6 or 7 hours. Just assume it takes hours, even though you may not always live within hours away. You could live in the other side of the world in real life. But in your dream, you live 4 to 8 hours away. So you go on the trip. Okay, a road trip. And you arrive instantly at the city. New York City. And the city is vibrant, huge, and really busy. It features a whole lot of buildings, a whole lot of skyscrapers, including the One World Trade Center and the Empire State Building off down in the middle of the city somewhere. And it's a pretty warm day during the summer, and you are now in the city. And as you are in the city, you decide you want to go out from the city and view the entire skyline of the city. So you decide to step out and travel outwards to across the body of water to the other side, which you could see the entire city. You could see the entire skyline. And as you arrive there, you see all of the buildings off at a distance. the whole architectures of all the buildings, and a city that does not sleep at night. And now, in this time of day, you notice that the sun is starting to set. So you know that the sun is still there. And it's a sunny day with a few clouds, okay? So when you see that the sun is starting to set, it's starting to set, okay? Alright. So, as you are looking casually at the skyline, you decide that you want to take a picture. A tourist picture that you eventually would like to share once you return home from this trip, okay? And you happen to take a picture, and as you are about to take this picture, you notice that your picture looks different. And as you put down your phone, you realize that something has appeared. Something that you don't want to appear. And you realize it's something like a cone, like an inverted triangle that shows up. And you realize the worst. You see a tornado that slowly forms behind the buildings, behind the big buildings that are glittering with light. You see that tornado form behind the building. A tornado, and there's still sun, and the far right, this orange sun beaming at you. The sunset, okay. And now you've got a tornado that's starting to form. So you said, oh my gosh, there's a storm coming up. There is a tornado coming up. And you kind of start to get worried. And the tornado is like suddenly growing in size. Now the tornado is getting closer and closer. It's starting to. And now it looks bigger. It looks twice as big now than the moment that you initially saw it. And it's a dark gray tornado. It's slowly coming towards you. It's contrasting with the city and the buildings, and now you got this black monster coming up, a dark gray. It's coming closer and closer to the buildings, and your body feels like stiff. And slowly, you suddenly see fragments of flying particles of buildings come out as the big tornado start to tear apart the city. It's starting to shred all the buildings that seem like cardboard to the tornado. It's starting to now tear, and now you hear a lot of noise, like a whole lot of noise in your ears. And boom, it's tearing stuff left and right. And now you see that the tornado starts to be brown. It transformed from a gray color to a dark brown, dirt brown color. It looks like soil, and it's tearing off the ground. It's tearing off the ground. Tearing off the ground. Okay. And it's really growing in size. And now you are starting to freak out. You hear a lot of noise. A lot of noise coming from the tornado. You You don't know why, but you hear it in your ears, okay? And it triggers a fight or flight response that you decide to go and find shelter. You go into a nearby building opposite to the city, okay? Keep in mind, you are not inside the city, but you are outside, just outside, to observe the skyline. And now you got a tornado photobombing your skyline. It's skyline, okay? This tornado is photobombing the skyline, okay? The city's skyline. And now, as you look at the tornado through a window inside, you notice that it is now deep within the city. It's shredding a lot more particles, a lot more concrete, and now it's flying in midair. And now it's even hitting the building that you're supposed to take shelter. And your instincts decide to move your body, and you decide you happen to plunge into the body, a nearby body of water that separates the city and the other side. And you plunge downward, you feel the cold water. And for some odd reason, you could look underwater. You could look underwater to see what's going on as the disaster unfolds. All of a sudden, you see a lot of floating buildings that are submerged in the water. Pieces of windows, pieces of concrete that have sunken into the water. And it's like now in this deep world, a blue world, and you happen to be floating underwater. So as you see those buildings and the current that's been rushing towards you, you happen to cross your fingers and pray that it did not happen. You pray that you would survive, okay? As you are praying that you would survive, you happen to rise up and see the surface of the sea. And now the tornado happens to quiet down. It's no longer shredding the city. And now you've got the sun beaming at you again. Now it was like a rainy, like overcast, without any sunlight beaming at you before when the tornado happened and shredding all of the buildings. And now as you rise up, you see the sun again. And everything seems to quiet down, okay? So you decide to climb off the water, get off the water, and go back on the skyline area, view area, where you initially wanted to take a picture. And you see the whole skyline. It seems to not be affected. You see all the buildings that are intact, as if the tornado never got a chance to wipe off all the buildings. In fact, the city remains untouched, without any broken buildings. Like the tornado was there. You see everything. You see all of the pieces of building that have been flown off. But now it seems like the city has restored itself. And behind the city, you see this massive inverted orange cone that look like some sort of inverted volcano. A cloud, a huge funnel cloud that is shaped like an inverted volcano. An inverted cone with a hole on top. Alright. And that thing just doesn't anything, it remains dormant. And after that, you happen to wake up from your dream. Alright. So, this will be the end of this stream video. I hope you have gotten your ASMR tingles, alright? If you did enjoy and if you got your tingles, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And we are now at 978 subscribers. Hopefully by New Year's Eve, I'll get to 1K. And it's gonna be amazing if I hit 1,000 exactly on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. It will be an amazing milestone, alright? So, I hope to see you again, and stay tuned for the next video.